Hey toy fans, Aaron here. Before we get into today's review, I wanted to touch on the Han Solo trailer. That came out last week. I totally forgot about mentioning it since I was running so behind on recording these, which actually I am today since it's Tuesday night already, and this should be going up in an hour. But anyways, trailer I thought was awesome. Of course, we had the teaser for the teaser the next morning. Both were great. I love seeing some footage from it. Of course, we're only, 3.5, 4 months away from that movie, so it's definitely nice to see some stuff coming out for that. But anyways, on to today's review. Going to take a look at Ephant Mon. I hope I'm saying that right. You can let me know if I'm not. But anyways, we're going to head to the table and check this one out. Looking at the figure first on the card, he was released on the Saga Line, which is what the line looked like for the Episode 2 release of figures. Pretty nice looking card. Starry blue background with some like swooshes in there. And I do think that this is one of the biggest blister packs for a single 3 3/4 inch released figure in the Star Wars line. As you can see here, this is how it looks if I put it in the star case that I keep my figures in. And obviously I had to cut the front of it out just so that the figure could get in. I definitely wanted something on there to help this cardboard backing not warp over time due to the weight of it. But anyways, that gives you an idea of the depth of how big this blister is on the figure compared to the other ones. Otherwise though, you got a great look at the figure through the packaging. Unfortunately, the walking cane that's included with mine, as you can see, has started to fall out of its little packaging slot. Got a little sticker there, Fan's Choice figure number 3. This was the third figure of the Fan's Choice poll. It was a winner. Then along the bottom, you got a somewhat decent photo of the figure as you see him in the movie. Looks like a bad flash photography, but nevertheless, that's what he looked like in costume on set, with the Return of the Jedi, Ephant Mon, Jabba's head of security label there in the front. On the left side of the packaging, you do have a little label there, number 45. You got the name and that he was part of Collection 2 in the line. And on the other side, you got his name and number once again, and this time you got an includes, that he comes with his cane and that he comes with the vibro blade. On the back of the packaging, of course, you got the Star Wars, you got the Return of the Jedi label at the top. Underneath that is a pretty large paragraph about what's going on in Return of the Jedi, along with a brief description about this character. Couple highlighted photos here showing you his vibro blade being attached to his belt, and then that both can be combined for this little axe thing. And then along the bottom you got some other figures that were also available at the time. And looking at it out of the packaging, this is an amazing looking figure with a fantastic sculpt, a great paint job to it. The only downfall to it really is that surprisingly this figure has a very hard time standing up. You've got to get the pose just right, the arms just right to help with the balance. Otherwise it's going to keep tipping over. Which is really surprising considering how big the figure is at the base. It just seems that the feet along with the tail and the edge of the robe should really all kind of work together just to make this a very stable figure. Looking in on the head sculpt, an amazing job done here. There's a wonderful sculpting to the entire head and a very good paint job to it as well. Nice mix of these kind of grays and grayish blue colors. These brown strands of hair coming out from underneath his hood are just very well done. I like the painting in the eye area. You get a little bit of that pink underneath the eye, kind of running down a little along the edges. Looks really good. At the mouth area, this jaw is articulating. I'll show that later, but you do have a little bit of painting on the inside of the mouth, some pink for the tongue and around it. White for the teeth is looking pretty good. His outer robe has a wonderful look to it. It really looks like it drapes down nicely and covers along the figure. It just looks like it has a lot of weight to it, or you would think that it would. Great paint detailing to that. Wonderful sculpting showing you the folds in the wrinkles in the fabric and stuff and the way it drapes around. But going in on the chest area, wonderful detailing here to the sculpt. I like the paint job, the little fading of that white and getting darker blue as you get down to the midsection of the body. I like the paint detailing along the hands as well, sculpting too. It's a really, I'm going to keep saying it a lot. The sculpting on this figure really is fantastic. Hands are looking really good though. The belt has a wonderful paint job to it. You get the distressed leather in there and some nice brown painting, dark brown painting washed in throughout there. Straps molded on his left leg and some pouches throughout the belt as well. There's that little hole that you can put the vibro axe into, or the vibro blade. And then the legs, of course, looking really good as well. Matches the body perfectly as far as how that color continues to wash down. And the toenails also have a great paint job to them too. You can see a little bit of that tail sticking out. That's looking really good. A little fur sculpted in on the edge of the tail. So just a really good looking figure. As for the articulation of the figure, as I already mentioned and showed, the head does spin around. So that's what you're getting for that articulation. At the arm area, now we were in a time where you were getting a lot of articulation for figures, but in this case, all you're getting is a swivel arm up and down. And you know what? I'm quite okay with that because my feeling is that any joint added in here that would allow the arm to swivel, out, would have taken away from the way this robe looks, the way it drapes. And in this case, I prefer the way this looks rather than having some joints being more visible and taking away from the look of the figure. As for the hands, you're just going to get the rotation at the wrist. This mouth, like I mentioned earlier, blah, 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 blah. That goes up and down. There you can see just the teeth painted in there, and then head color for the top of the mouth. At the leg area, you're going to get both legs coming out about like so. And nothing really back because this robe and stuff gets in the way. And then this tail, as I mentioned earlier, you get a little bit of swiveling to it as well. And then for accessories, he does have two of them. First up is a little vibro blade. Got some little detailing on the handle. Nice sculpting to it. And then silver blade here on the end. Again, good sculpting to that as well. Little lines and stuff sculpted in there. Little dots for whatever. So overall, a pretty good look to that. And then here you can see you got a little peg sticking out on this one side. And that allows you to attach it to his body. And the other accessory is his walking stick. Great sculpting to that as well. Very nice paint job with the wash in there to help bring out the little lines and stuff throughout that sculpt. At the ball of the stick, the little handle area, it's got a little, it looks like Jabba's tattoo. That is a pretty close match. Not quite exact. It doesn't have this little end piece sticking out here, but otherwise, yeah. I don't know if that was actually on the movie prop or if Hasbro just did that for some fun. Otherwise, like I said, it's looking pretty good. Nice little painting for this little rope thing or whatever that's wrapped around it. His left hand is sculpted so that it can hold the ball of this cane. Obviously, that does help him stand up better. But the other function of this cane is that you can take this piece, let me set him aside, and then add that handle of the axe in there, and then he's got another type of weapon. That's why I don't really like that the figure is necessarily relying on this cane, because then you can put his weapon into his right hand. So overall, I really do love this figure. They did a wonderful job with the sculpting, with the painting. Yes, you do have to work a little bit to get it to stand up, but like I said, with such a big piece, with such a big base to it, really with the tail and the feet, he really shouldn't have this kind of problem standing up in the first place. But again, overall, still a fantastic figure. And so that wraps up this look at Ephant Mon. I'd love to know your thoughts on this figure in the comments section below. And as always, thanks for watching.